What is ecology? How is Earth, in a scientific sense, a living planet? Ecology is the scientific study of interactions among organisms and between organisms and their physical environment. The biosphere is all life on Earth and all parts of Earth where organisms, or we, live. There's a web of interdependence and interactions between organisms and the environment. Organisms respond to their environments. They can change their environments, producing an ever-changing biosphere. In the science of ecology, there's an interrelation between every species. And the arrows indicate the direction of the food energy traveling. So algae is eaten by krill, krill is eaten by these, and these are eaten by the others. And some are apex predators. The top one who is not eaten goes back in a cycle with decomposers after it dies. The levels of organization that include the following are the individual organisms. They combine to make populations. The populations make a community with other organisms, and the ecosystem. And then the biome is that region. And then the biosphere is all complete areas where life is. So a population is a group of individuals that belong to the same species. They interbreed and live in the same area. A community is an assemblage of different populations that live together in a defined area, different species. An ecosystem is all the organisms that live in a place together with their non-living physical environment, the area where they live. And a biome is a group of ecosystems that share similar climates and typical organisms. This Mediterranean would be different than the Sahara and then Southern Africa. And this is a picture of representing different biomes. And looking at this is increased temperature as you go down. And this is increased dryness as you go to the right. So let's start with the cold Arctic regions, tundra, and then subarctic regions, boreal forest, and boreal means north. And then temperate regions, temperate forests have much more rain, much more water, and the grasslands have less. And then desert has less water. And then tropical regions near the equator, the tropical forest, and then less water would give you grasslands, and less water than that would give you deserts at the equator area. So the biosphere is everything, the entire planet with all its organisms and physical environments. So how big is the biosphere? So if you're here on Earth, here's your water. So 50 meters down in the water is most of the sea life, and 6 kilometers up into the mountains, life exists up to 6 kilometers above you from sea level. So thickness of Earth's biosphere is about this big, but you're too small on this scale to appear. Looking at the whole Earth, the biosphere's thickness is about 20 kilometers. We have found life at 42 kilometers below sea level and maximum 50 kilometers above sea level. So this thin line represents the limits. And the biosphere is located here. It's too small to print on this scale. Even the sun is too small to print on this scale. So this solar system with the planets lined up, the sun, and here's the biosphere, and all the way up to Neptune. What are abiotic and biotic factors of our ecosystem? Physical components of the ecosystem are called abiotic factors. These factors are the non-living portions, rocks, water, air, temperature. The biological influences in the organisms are called biotic factors, which are plants, birds, bugs, animals, etc. Biotic factors are the living parts of the environment with which an organism might interact. These are the animals, plants, mushrooms, bacteria. Biotic factors relating to a bullfrog include algae, it eats as a tadpole, herons that eat bullfrogs, other species competing for food or space. Abiotic factors are any non living part of the environment: sunlight, heat, precipitation, humidity, wind and water, currents, soil type. So that bullfrog could be affected by abiotic factors like water availability, temperature, humidity. Abiotic versus biotic factors is not always clear. Abiotic factors, influences by the activity of the organism and vice versa. The pond muck contains non living particles and mold and decomposing plant material that serves as food for bacteria and fungi. A mix of biotic and abiotic factors shapes every environment. The trees and shrubs, they affect the amount of sunlight the shoreline receives, the range of temperatures it experiences, the humidity in the air, the chemical condition of the soil. What methods are used in ecological studies? Regardless of their tools, modern ecologists use three methods in their work: observation, experimentation, modeling. Each of these approaches relies on scientific methodology to guide inquiry. So, in observation, ask questions, ecological questions. And in the questions, you want to design experiments and models. In order to not disturb the environment, we often want to design experiments that do not interfere with the natural order of. And the experiments can be used to test hypotheses. An ecologist may set up an artificial environment in a laboratory or greenhouse, and they carefully alter conditions in selected parts of natural ecosystems. As much as possible, they do not want to interfere with the natural ecosystem. Many ecological events occur over such long periods of time or over such long distances that they are difficult to study directly. Ecologists make models to help them understand these phenomena. The interdependence of life on Earth contributes to an ever changing or dynamic biosphere. Just as in the ecologist's pyramid, the soil represents most of the matter, energy, or number, the plants represent less, and the herbivores are less than that, and then the carnivores